For weeks now, the conversation around DJI's Pocket lineup has felt strangely flat. Real images of the upcoming Pocket 4 surfaced, and instead of excitement, the reaction was disappointment. Same sensor, familiar design, no obvious leap forward. A lot of Pocket 3 owners looked at it and thought, my Pocket 3 still works fine, I'll wait for the Pro. And until recently, that Pro model felt like nothing more than wishful thinking. Rumors, blurry leaks, speculation about dual cameras, but nothing concrete. No filings, no confirmation, just hope. That changed because the Pocket 4 Pro didn't just show up in rumors, it showed up in the FCC system. And that's the moment this entire story shifts from speculation to reality. Up until now, every confirmed regulatory filing we'd seen was tied to the standard Pocket 4. That reinforced the idea that DJI might be playing it safe, releasing a refinement rather than a real upgrade. Some even assumed DJI would quietly fold Pro features into later firmware updates or accessories, but DJI doesn't register products casually. When DJI files a separate FCC entry, it means something meaningful is different: hardware, radios, feature set, or all three. And just before regulatory restrictions tightened in the United States, DJI quietly registered a second device, Pocket 4P. The P isn't a guess, it literally stands for Pro. That single letter changes everything. The timing matters even more than the name. The Pocket 4 Pro received FCC certification on December 22nd, 2025. You're at just one day before new restrictions went into effect that now prevent the FCC from authorizing new DJI equipment. That means both the Pocket 4 and the Pocket 4 Pro cleared approval just in time. This wasn't luck. This was planning. Once a device receives FCC approval, it's legally cleared for sale. The confidentiality period that follows isn't a delay mechanism. It simply protects internal documents like schematics and manuals from public release. DJI often launches products well before that window closes, so suddenly, the question isn't if the Pocket 4 Pro exists, it's how DJI plans to introduce it. And this is where all the earlier doubts start to make sense. People were disappointed with the Pocket 4 because it didn't feel ambitious enough, but what if it wasn't meant to be? What if the Pocket 4 was designed as the stable, accessible model, while the real innovation was being saved for a Pro version that DJI couldn't afford to mess up? So the FCC details give us subtle clues. Right, the Pocket 4 Pro listing includes higher performance wireless characteristics, SAR values that still fall well within legal limits but are noticeably higher than what you'd expect from a basic compact camera. That usually points to stronger radios, higher bandwidth usage, or more complex internal systems. In other words, this isn't just a Pocket 4 with a badge. That lines up perfectly with what people have been waiting for: the rumored dual camera setup, a more advanced imaging approach similar to what DJI did with the Air Series drones, a pocket camera that finally earns the word Pro. And this explains the strange emotional gap we saw after the Pocket 4 images leaked. People weren't wrong to feel underwhelmed, they were just looking at the wrong product. DJI didn't disappoint Pocket users, they split the lineup. The standard Pocket 4 becomes the refined, reliable, everyday camera. Longer battery life, better physical controls, fewer compromises. The Pocket 4 Pro becomes the answer for creators who want something more ambitious, something that actually replaces carrying multiple devices. Now the big question becomes launch strategy. Do these arrive together or does DJI stagger them? Based on how DJI typically operates, a short gap makes the most sense. The Pocket 4 can launch first, re-establish the lineup, and reassure the broader market. Then the Pocket 4 Pro follows, not months later, but close enough that people who were waiting don't feel left behind. This also explains why DJI didn't oversell the Pocket 4. They didn't need to. The Pocket 4 isn't meant to convince everyone, it's meant to hold the line. And if you're a Pocket 3 owner, this changes how you should think about upgrading. If you were disappointed by the Pocket 4 and decided to wait, that decision suddenly looks smart. The Pro model is no longer hypothetical. It's approved, it's documented, it's real. At the same time, nothing about this invalidates the Pocket 4. It just clarifies its role. DJI isn't forcing everyone into one upgrade path. They're finally offering a choice. So after all the doubts, the Pocket 4 Pro didn't just appear. It reframed the entire Pocket strategy. What looked like a conservative update now looks like a deliberate setup. And once you see that, the disappointment fades because it turns out DJI wasn't done yet.